Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Asian Blokes Podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time. Really, my name is Dan with a H. With me, as always, is my co-host, a clone of Tavi. Hello, clone of Tavi. How you doing?
Where did this idea come from?
Yes. Have you seen all the discourse around Jim Carrey being cloned, Tavi?
I haven't looked into the theories, but I've seen the thumb.
Have you seen the footage?
I haven't seen the footage yet.
Yeah, he looks pretty different, but I'm pretty sure he just got Botox.
He's just older, right? Or got Botox, but apparently he sounds different. But it's a pretty funny theory.
Yeah, apparently his eye colors are different. It's just the internet losing their mind, I think, a bit.
It's weird. No, I haven't really looked into it that much. It's just like, it is what it is.
Well, we're happy to have you today, clone of Tavi, because today we're talking about movies that aren't Asian necessarily. We're talking about 2025 movies.
Top 10. We do this yearly. We usually do our top 10 and top worst, but we're combining them because surprisingly this year 2025, which apparently has some of the biggest stinkers of all time, I didn't watch most of them because I honestly just didn't want to waste my time watching them.
You valued your time more last year. That's good, I think. I think that's a good thing.
I didn't watch Cinderella. I didn't watch the Lilo and Stitch movie, even though that probably would have made my top worst if I had seen it just from the discourse.
Snow White, I think? Did that come out last year?
That's it, yeah. They're sort of just the same because they're both Disney princesses. I just get it mixed up.
Well, Cinderella had that ugly stepsister movie, but I heard that's pretty good.
I like that movie a lot, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're going to skim through our worst of 2025 at the start of the episode, then go through our top 10 for 2025. We're going to do spoiler-free for this episode, so don't worry if you haven't watched any of these movies. We're all about positivity this year. That's why we're doing it this way.
It's laziness, really.
I think people have enough stuff to worry about without us droning on about shit Oscars, movies, right? Tavi. Let's talk about good movies.
People really care about the Oscars.
Sure, the Oscars.
Yeah. So don't worry. There's definitely some films on this list that probably got snubbed but by the Oscars, but not snubbed by us because our list is the correct one, not like the Oscars where...
I don't know about mine. I was going through it. There was a lot of movies that I forgot I had watched last year. I don't know. We kind of take a different approach every year, I feel. I don't know about you, but like sometimes it's like, I guess it's a metric. Like you weigh up like the quality of the film, but also there's like what kind of mood you were when you watched it, what kind of cinema experience it was, and like whether it was a pleasant surprise or a bit of a disappointment, that kind of stuff. A lot of factors.
It's been an interesting one. Like there's a number of films that I really enjoyed, surprisingly, that didn't make the top 10, and that will be in our honourable mentions. But I would also say, rewatchability is kind of a big thing for me as well. I tend to like movies that have a legacy behind them or a potential for a legacy. They might not even be, per se, objectively the best movies, but these are just movies. Some of them I just connect with a bit more.
Some of them just leave more of an impression. I was
surprised how... I think through the year, I was thinking, I haven't seen that many films that I thought I would struggle picking a top 10 because I thought, this is pretty definitive. But there was actually a number of films that I have actually had, didn't take the top spot and things changed. And so overall, 2025 was an all right year for movies.
An all right year.
No, there's some pretty good ones,
Well, let's start with the worst ones, shall we? We're not going to talk about these at length. I don't really have that many like terrible films that I watch. I have a lot of disappointing films. Like Good Boy was a bit of a disappointment for me. The horror movie about the dog, or from the dog's perspective. Presence as well was a bit of a disappointment to me. That was the horror movie from the ghost perspective. There are a few like blatant stinkers. I think like Happy Gilmore 2 was just a bad film, but I kind of expected it to be bad.
There's a lot of films I didn't finish. One of them I did.
Yeah. I didn't finish Wolfman.
Oh yeah, Wolfman.
That was bad.
There's one film that I did put on worst. I didn't actually finish, but it was so bad that I couldn't really ignore it. So, like, yeah.
Which one was that?
State, where we watched it when I was with you.
Oh yeah, I thought you finished it. I didn't finish it, but I thought you finished it.
I just watch people talk about the end, and I'm like, I don't want to watch the rest of this garbage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like
pretty bad.
I just list them off, I guess. Like I put there's a number of movies that I didn't like. G20 and Anaconda. I was just like really bad movies, but there's not that much to say about them.
I thought Anaconda was fun enough.
I don't know. It's pretty bad,
but it's a bit of fun, you know.
I put the Minecraft movie there, but this is one of those corporate movies that's kind of so bad that I really enjoyed it, and I was really high when I watched it.
Yeah, so but did it?
I actually had a lot of fun watching the Minecraft movie.
But did it actually make it to the point of being so corporate that it was good?
I think so.
Because my worst movie did, for sure. War of the Worlds is one of those films that was so corporate that it just was actually pretty good, pretty fun to watch, but also very terrible. Just a bad film.
I've seen it up. Yeah.
If you haven't watched War of the Worlds and you're a fan of like so bad it's good movies, I think War of the Worlds fits right in that category. If you enjoy seeing a big just Ice Cube's big face, just taking up a lot of the script, just reacting to stuff that isn't really happening for an hour and a half, you're in for a treat. And a lot of Amazon product placement to boot.
I put
good stuff.
This is more disappointment, but it also came on the verge of being bad. For me, is Predator Badlands, which I'm sort of...
all right.
Yeah, it is controversial because people love this movie. I just thought... As an action sci-fi movie, it's fine, but as a Predator movie, it just I don't know. I didn't enjoy the lack of impact that this movie had, and the Marvelication or Disneyfication of this movie. And Dan Trachtenberg has done good Predator movies, so he swung, and it was a miss for me for this one. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't like where this movie is going to take the series into like a kids Predator. Going to buy Happy Meals of Predator toys. Yeah.
Well, I think it'll steer more into the Alien versus Predator franchise than the Predator franchise necessarily. Like they're doing that, right? Dan Trachtenberg and Romulus guy. What's his name? Yeah. Fede Alvarez. Yeah. I think they're working together on that.
Along with Electric State, there were two final mention movies that actually really pissed me off when I watched them. Was Karate Kid Legends and Wicked for Good. I think those three, if I would
watch Wicked for Good,
those are probably that I would actually have a rank for those of like the worst movies. Those three movies. Karate Kid Legends. There's not that much to say, but it was just so bland and so by the numbers and so uninspired in terms of its direction. The actors did fine. And the story is serviceable, but it's just so uninteresting that I just felt like I was wasting my time watching this movie. I gained nothing from this movie at all. The plot, I know this gets thrown around a lot, but the plot feels like it's been written by AI, and I don't know, it just sucked, and it was just so floaty. And this is coming from someone who's seen bits of Cobra Kai and enjoyed it, and I don't know why this one is... Even the fight scenes are like not bad in this movie, but also just the package of it just really annoyed me. I don't know. It just sucked. And Wicked for Good, I don't want to waste any more time talking about this movie. It's a piece of shit.
We have an episode. I'll link it here.
I can't believe we talked about this movie over some other movies that we should have talked about. Yeah, Wicked for Good is a terrible, terrible film.
I think the best thing to come out of that movie is probably just all the memes.
Yeah, there's some memes.
Those were fun while they lasted.
I gave you the benefit of the doubt, John M. Chu, with Wicked 1, which I surprisingly enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then Wicked for Good just fell so hard that it just makes me dislike the first one. Now, I just don't want anything to do with this series anymore. Like, I gave you a chance, but your vision sucks, man. Well, there goes my chance in Hollywood. So there you go. Yeah, just bland, boring. Yeah.
I don't know if your career in Hollywood is going to be made or broken by John M. Chu. It's probably fine. Anyway, I don't have much more to say about bad movies. A lot of the movies I watched were just average. So let's move on to the good stuff, shall we?
Let's do it.
So number 10. Number 10 was hard for me to choose. I think it was probably the hardest for me to choose because it meant leaving other movies off the top 10 list and into the honourable mentions list.
Yeah, just number 10. I struggled, but I made it in the end. My number 10 is surprising, but...
What was your number 10?
Oh, my number 10? Yeah, this movie was very interesting. I'm putting at number 10 the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze arc.
Okay.
And this is interesting.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
I've read that chapter of the manga and I enjoyed it at the time, but I sort of just breezed through it and didn't think too much about it. But when I watched it in the theaters, I thought, it's got a slow start, but there's something very endearing about the first half of it being more of a romance or that sort of burgeoning coming-of-age romance story. And I won't give the plot away, but there's something very sad boy about this movie that I quite enjoyed. And I got surprisingly...
Because it's a tragic romance, right?
Yeah. I got surprisingly emotional by the end. I was like, oh, man. And I think this is the definition of when an adaptation really adds to and builds upon the original medium of the manga, because you've got the really interesting visuals, you've got the really fluid fight sequences, and just some great voice acting.
Got music.
And some music. And I really surprisingly enjoyed this because I haven't consumed Chainsaw Man media for a couple of years since watching this, and I heard that this movie was quite good.
Yeah.
And this beat out a lot of animated films from 2025. So this is the only animated film that appears on my list, I think. I'm just having... Yeah, so... Okay,
spoiler alert.
It's fine. Chainsaw Man movie. Yeah, give it a watch. If you like Chainsaw Man, I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah.
I'm sad that I missed out of this on the... I'm sad that I didn't watch this in theaters.
It's definitely a theater
and probably never will get the chance.
Oh, you might. There's that bit where it's like you haven't watched anime for a while, and there's all these characters. Like, who are you? And like, how can you do that? But you'll get it, and it's cool. It's surprisingly heartfelt film. Yeah, that's my number 10.
Yeah, okay. My number 10 is also animated. I put Predator: Killer of Killers at number 10, which is also a surprise. I put this here because it was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect that much from this title, and I really enjoyed it. And because of that, it's beaten out some movies that are probably technically better, but were slightly disappointing to me. So Predator: Killer of Killers, it's an animated anthology film from Dan Trachtenberg, the same director as Predator: Badlands, but it is a superior Predator film
I think so,
to Predator Badlands, in my opinion. It just portrays the Predator the way it should be, just as a horrible monster that's stalking its prey relentlessly. Its main heroic characters, for the most part, are very cool, except for maybe one of them. And I do like how, it brings all of the story elements together at the end and builds upon the Predator lore in kind of like an organic way. There are some things I don't like about the lore that they have built, but for the most part, I am pretty on board. I would like to see more of a follow-up to this movie than I would to Predator Badlands, if I'm going to be honest. The animation style, while it's not my favorite kind of art style, it's still good. It's solid. It's very well animated for what it is. And it makes the fluidity of the action set pieces really exciting to watch. Yeah, just overall, really good animated feature.
Yeah, definitely.
Surprising hit.
That was a surprise for me as well. I think that Predator universe will culminate into something with Badlands we'll see. I enjoyed that one a lot as well, which is why I was expecting more from Badlands. But I was disappointed by it ultimately. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Shall we move on to number 9?
Number nine for me is Good News. So this is the Korean film.
Yep.
About the Japanese communists who hijack a plane, and then they try to fly to North Korea, and both Japanese and South Korean governments are trying to stop them. I was so surprised.
We did a mini review on this one.
I was so surprised by this movie because the level of I guess filmmaking that's in this movie I did not expect in terms of just you know, composition of shots and blocking and its framing, but it's also just really funny as well. It's the kind of old school dark humor that you might hear from, or you might see from, you know, it reminded me of Dr. Strangelove, and I really love that movie as well. So it's sort of an updated version of that movie, but from East Asia. A lot of really clever shots, a lot of really funny characters.
Fairly new-ish director,
he did
right?
Kill Boksoon, right?
Well,
which is also a very interesting movie. In hindsight, hindsight, that movie probably deserves a lot more praise as well. We Kill Boksoon. We probably should have.
It's cool, man.
We probably should have talked about that, but we talked about Wicked. So you know,
no, we did Wicked.
We did Wicked. Yeah,
that was our strong female of the month, Tavi. Got no room for more.
But no, just really funny movie, and I was surprised. It just got shat onto Netflix. Unfortunately, I think this would have been a great cinema movie, but you know, it is what it is. Good News, great movie. Give it a watch on Netflix.
Good.
It's free.
Yeah, good South Korean cinema there. My number 9 is Warfare, directed by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland. It's based on Mendoza's experiences during the Iraq War as a U.S. Navy SEAL and depicts an encounter on November 19th, 2006 at the Battle of Ramadi. So it's just a very intense war film. And it's one of those... It's a very good cinema experience, I feel. If you're not afraid of being stressed out for the whole time, I think it's a really, really good cinema experience. Just the level of sound design and the craft involved, it just really puts you in that moment of history without the risk of being shot and killed. I mean, narratively, it is what it is. You know, it's fairly simple and straightforward. There is depth to it, but it's more like, you know, war is bad kind of situation. It's just really good filmmaking, I found. And I typically don't really enjoy war films, but I think this is it's kind of more of an action film than a war film, because it is like pretty much wall-to-wall action with a little bit of like brotherly bonding.
But not really. It's never very schmaltzy. It's never very saccharine. It's not schmaltzy because they're in the moment, right? The whole movie is set during this battle, so they don't really have time to be schmaltzy. Until a war veteran Marine comes on YouTube and says how unrealistic this movie is. This is probably the most realistic depiction of war that I've ever seen on a film, and I imagine. Yeah.
Well, it's based on experience, right? And informed by
I'm
that
sure
experience.
The YouTube algorithm has spied on me and it will recommend me a video from 10 different Marine Corps people saying how this movie is a sham and it's garbage and it's not real.
Sure. But at the same time, it's their vision of what this was, you know? Like, so, you know, there probably is a little bit of like unreliable narration involved because like they're getting shot at, they're getting blown up and shit. So like, it's based on war stories from, you know, these people. So yeah, I'm sure there are some embellishments, but that's fine. It's normal. It's fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's good. What's your number 8?
We mentioned this before, but number 8 for me was the Ugly Stepsister. So this is I'm going to have a quick look at the origin because I always just imagine this movie is Dutch, but I make that same mistake as Risky because I just assume every movie from Europe is it like Dutch or something? No, it's it's a Norwegian, Polish, Swedish, and Denmark. So it is Danish, right? Yeah. I think they speak.
Okay, there you go.
They speak a number of languages in here. I think it's Danish. But yeah, I heard about this movie through some horror forums, and people on that space were talking about it. How it's quite a graphic depiction of the Cinderella story told from the perspective of the ugly stepsister. And yeah, it's pretty brutal. There's some very fun segments and something that is quite fresh towards the end of the movie that is very stomach churning, even for me.
Okay.
But I thought it was very cool, and I'd never seen it before. But overall, just very fun production design. The music choices are very interesting. It's sort of like 80s synth style. And I think the performances were great all around. And yeah, just really good body horror. Not particularly scary. I think the horror is within its special effects and gore
Stomach
and
turningness.
shocking, shock factor. The story is actually quite relevant and timely, and you'll probably learn more from this movie than probably any Disney movie, to be honest. But it's probably what the Brothers Grimm maybe had actually envisioned more so, because I've read the original Cinderella story, and it's more in line to what the stepsisters actually do to themselves in the original. I don't know who wrote the original, like Grimm or is it Hans Christian Andersen or whoever, one of those guys. But
I think it's Brothers Grimm.
Is it Brothers Grimm? Yeah. But yeah,
it's called like Appenschwitz or something.
But I remember reading the original story and it's like, there's a lot more to glean from this than watching a Disney film and then becoming
then getting a boy,
then being a.
I mean, I watched Bridgerton, which is pretty much the same thing. Oh, yeah. So yeah.
that show doesn't interest me in the slightest, but people love it. So
yeah. And horror people love The Ugly Stepsister. I've seen it featured a number of times on horror creators' lists of top films. Yeah. So it's probably very good.
Yeah, I watched it on Shudder, had Sunman over, and very, very great. I wish I'd seen this in the cinema. It would have been a fun shared experience, especially during the climax. I think it's definitely worth it to see what happens at the end, because it's like, oh damn, man, that shit's rough. Like, body's dysmorphia and the whole idea of especially if you're seeing all these people like looks maxing and whatever, but that's a whole nother fucking thing that we're never going to talk about, because we're not about that schlock.
We're not about that.
But yeah, great movie.
My number 8 is also a horror-ish. Horror-ish. 28 years later. It's described on Wikipedia as a post-apocalyptic coming-of-age horror film, produced and directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. So yes, obviously the third film in the 28 Days Later film series. I had been anticipating this movie for a long time because I really like the 28. Probably not that long. Did that work out chronologically? It doesn't, right?
I don't think so. It hasn't been 28 years.
No.
Has it?
It hasn't been 28 years. Surely it hasn't been. Surely we're not that old, right, Tom?
It hasn't been longer?
I don't reckon. Let's look this up.
28 weeks
28 days later is
2002.
Yeah. So it hasn't been 28 years.
Yeah.
Not quite. But yeah, anyway, 28 years later, it's just really good, I think. It wasn't... I don't think it was what people were expecting. Obviously, directed by Danny Boyle, it's not going to be a straightforward zombie flick. There's a lot of depth to it, and there's a lot of heart to it, which I wasn't expecting, I guess, especially towards the second half of the film. And I think like that really elevates this film, perhaps above its sequel. And yeah, I think I really liked everything about it. Just the addition to the lore as well, I thought was very interesting. The ending is super interesting as well. I know it's not everybody's kettle of fish, but you watch these films, you don't want to watch another zombie film, right? You want to watch something different, something from an auteur like Danny Boyle especially. And I think it's just got a lot of his spice in it.
I think that's what we want to watch.
Which,
Dan, to be honest, given the reception of the second movie, which I might talk about.
It was okay received, right?
I think people...
I mean,
most people... I'll just call them normies. Yeah, they didn't really like this movie because it was too weird, and the ending kind of threw things off. But I loved all the weirdness. I loved all the interesting. I love the little camera rig that they built to do the 360 freeze frame shot.
Yeah,
that's fun. People didn't like that for some reason, and it's just like it's just a new camera. It looks cool, you know, and it adds to the sort of the low. I guess, lo-fi aesthetic with a high budget, which is kind of ironic, but, you know, it's cool. And I love the music choices in this movie as well. Yeah.
That's kind of Danny Boyle's thing as well. All these movies feel both expensive and cheap at the same time somehow. It's good. It's good filmmaking and good artistry as well. It's very like individual. Like you was talking about Legacy before, and like this is one of those movies where you might not have enjoyed it at the time, but it leaves an impression for sure.
Definitely.
What's your number 7?
Number 7. This one was an interesting choice because I'd seen this movie twice in the theater, and the first time I fell asleep, but I rewatched it because I realized that it was a good movie that I needed to pay attention to when I wasn't tired. But it's the anticipated by cinephiles. It's Begun's Resurrection. So this is a Chinese film, and it is basically an anthology of sorts where it's about a woman. It's sort of like in a future where there's these sort of people that dream or something, but they're becoming extinct. But she comes across like the last one, and she sort of is trying to investigate his dreams, and then these dreams are the 5 or 4 stories that are told on screen. All the stories are very distinct and different. It's a very slow-paced film, and I do not recommend watching this movie when you're tired because you have to pay attention. But upon rewatch, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but there is just a lot of very interesting filmmaking techniques, and because it's an anthology, there is a lot of room for experimentation. The story and overall plot is very opaque. It's really hard to sort of connect everything together, but I think it's sort of about like, you know, Buddhist symbolism and whatnot. But most of the stories are enjoyable.
It's got Shuki in it.
Yeah, she's sort of the main, but not really. She's kind of the overarching character, but she's not in it that much. Yeah. Most of the stories are very good. One of them, I think it's good, but there's just too much ASMR in one of the stories that it almost put me back to sleep again because it was just so relaxing to watch. And there was very little music, and it's all like sound design. It sort of takes place in like a Buddhist temple, and it's about like a thief or something. And to be honest, I almost forgot what happened, or I sort of struggled to put together what happened in this particular story because you just enjoy the scenery and the craft. Yeah.
It's very interesting you say that because I'm just reading the wiki here, and it says that the 6 segments of the film each corresponds to one of the 6 senses recognized in Buddhist thought: sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and mind. So, it's interesting that it sounds like a very sensory film.
So there's like this one scene where this guy, he's like eating a steamed potato over a fire, and he's like quite famished, and there's just so much. He's just and it's just like blowing, and it was just so like it was putting me to sleep because it was just it hit that sensory and like, oh, stop doing that. I'm trying to pay attention to the movie, but
that's cinema. A guy eating a potato.
That's cinema. I think my favorite story was probably the one. I think the last story. It's a bit like a young couple. It's a very sort of like Shunji Iwai-esque, and it's more in line with what begun has made previously with his other films. It's just sort of kind of a love story, yeah. But no, overall,
okay.
Yeah, it's probably a cinema movie. You have to be a bit of a cinephile to watch it. I don't think this movie is for everyone, but yeah, surprisingly, I enjoyed it a lot more on the second watch. So yeah, if you fall asleep during the movie, it doesn't mean it's bad, except for Return to Silent Hill, which didn't make the list this year because it didn't fall amongst my criteria. But as in a bad, worst movie anyway. But yeah.
That's a pretty sensory film as well. And so is my number 7, actually. K-pop Demon Hunters is my number 7. So this has made it in here, and pretty high as well. Surprisingly high, because of two things. Because it was surprisingly good. I expected this to be really bad, and it wasn't. It was actually a lot more care went into it than I thought there was going to be. And also because of its cultural impact. And I know that's kind of a double-edged sword, but, you know, this film it's made such a big impact, both in the world, like for bringing K-pop into the mainstream, I guess, but also like it's just people are talking about it, you know, the music, and I would take umbrage with this if it was a bad film, but because it's good, you know, I think it's a good thing. I think this is a good thing for people to associate with K-pop and with Korean culture in general. And I feel a lot of passion behind the project as well. Like all of the people involved feel very passionate about the story they're telling. Of course, it is flawed, but at the same time, it's kind of a kid's film. So I do forgive those flaws as well. Like I think you're doing this film a disservice by analyzing it to extremes. I think it is kind of just a vibe. And like I enjoy the music in it as well. I listen to a lot of the music in the weeks after watching this film. So I think that's also a positive. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like, you're not going to fall asleep watching this film.
No, this movie was also a big surprise to me as well. It is on my honourable mentions list. It didn't make it. As I said, there was the other animated films on mine. But yeah, this film's cultural impact is hard to ignore. And I think this is what Crazy Rich Asians wanted it to be. But that movie doesn't have legacy anymore. I don't think people care about that series. But people are not going to forget about K-pop Demon Hunters. And I like how organic the popularity of the film was. Because this movie...
Yeah, right? It wasn't all marketing. It was hardly marketed at all. Die.
Sony sold it because they didn't... it's alleged or speculated, but I think it's probably true, that Sony just thought, what is this weird movie about K-pop Demon Hunters? Aren't K-pop fans like fucking weirdos? Who gives a shit about K-pop? Let's just sell it to Netflix and forget about it. And Netflix probably saw like, oh, nobody's going to watch this fucking shitty movie about K-pop. And when I saw the trailer, I thought it looked like garbage. And then, people just generally really liked it. And it was a good movie. And it's like, holy shit, this is now a cultural phenomenon. And like it's probably the first in maybe years of a holistic appreciation of a film, of a media product or a media IP. The last time I can think of that is Stranger Things, but that kind of shot itself in the foot because people hated the final season, apparently. I haven't watched beyond season 2, so I don't know. But yeah, no, it's cool to see that people are organically getting into East Asian stuff as well. Even the and it's funny how much Korea has sort of embraced K-pop Demon Hunters, that it's sort of confusing people that this is a foreign movie somehow. So people, when they watch this movie, it's like, ooh,
they claim it. They're allowed to claim it.
It's
about their entire culture, well, like their K-pop culture, you know. So they're allowed to claim it.
I'm watching foreign films now. I'm watching K-pop Demon Hunters, but like,
even though they kind of shunned Eje initially, now they love her, so that's fine.
Koreans
I think
are basically just like the inhabitants of the wicked people. It's just whatever, like they don't have a mindset. They just follow whatever's popular.
They're very credible.
So Korean friends. That's just very exaggerated generalization. But yeah, anyway. But no, good choice. Yeah.
All right, what's your number six?
This is probably a film that no one watched, but it was on Netflix, and I had sort of heard about it through a friend of mine. And it's a Thai film, and it's from, I think, some of the same creators as Lan Ma, or How to Grandma Millions Before Grandma Millions Dies. And
that film.
Obviously, wrong title, but that's a shit. Anyway, same creators. So this movie is called Flat Girls, and it's about it's sort of like a coming of age drama between and a friendship between these two girls that live in these police flats, and one of them's sort of upper class and one's like lower class. But yeah, they're friends, and there's not a lot of plot going on here, but there's just a very nice, earnest, I guess, drama between all the families, and the acting is really good. And it's just a very sort of nice, relaxing movie with a pretty surprisingly bittersweet ending, which I did not expect. There's a lot more in terms of the craft here, and it felt very more in line with, I guess, what I like from Asian cinema. There's not really a lot said in terms of what's going on. It is, you're watching the chemistry between all the actors. And yeah, I really enjoyed the relationship between the two female leads. And then there's just a number of other characters. And I think this is sort of what I wanted to feel when I was watching Lan Ma, where that movie sort of felt a bit too saccharine at some points. Melodramatic. Where this one cuts down on the melodrama a lot. And there's some really great cinematography in this movie as well.
Did you say it was on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Flat Girls. Yeah.
Okay.
You should give it a watch. I was very surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. I think I just watched it randomly on one night because I was going to catch this at the cinema because I heard about it, but I think I was busy at the time, so I didn't. And I regret it because I think this is a great movie.
Busy watching
Wicked for Good. This is another movie that we surely should have talked about, but we talked about Wicked for Good.
You haven't mentioned this film before.
I haven't had time.
I don't remember you talking about this film at all.
I think I might have, but yeah. No, because we're too busy talking about like garbage movies like Wicked for Good. Not really. That's the only one thing. That's the scar tissue in my soul now. That's just weird.
Yeah, that has prompted the resolution for 2026 for Two Asian Blokes podcast.
I can't believe we talked about Wicked for Good. What a waste of time. But I don't want to talk about that movie. Flat Girls.
No, that sounds good though. I've got a lot of room for these kind of subdued stories.
Yeah, great film. I think give it a watch. It's quite a nice movie, but it's also got a bit more gravitas to it and a bit more. It's less manipulative than Lan Ma, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I talk about Lan Ma, it always seems to be in a negative shade. I like that movie, but I don't know. I guess I'm being slightly contrarian.
You think it's overrated? You think it's overrated? It's fine. People like it. I think it's good.
I'm just a snob. Yeah.
Anyway, my number 6 is Weapons.
Oh, Weapons.
Mystery horror film directed and written, produced and co-scored by Zach Kreger. So this film was another one that I was anticipating highly because I really like Barbarian 2022. And I think Kreger is like, he's a little bit underrated, I feel. Maybe not so much now, but when Barbarian came out, I feel like there wasn't a huge buzz around it. It was one of those films that I caught later and was just kind of blown away by how much I enjoyed it. And Weapons was the same reaction, only with more of an anticipation.
Had a really good trailer.
It did. Yeah, it had a very good lead up to the film. So like everything was kind of getting me hyped to watch this film. And then I watched it and I had a really, really fun cinema experience. Packed small theater, everybody reacting the way they were supposed to be reacting during the film. And yeah, it was pretty similar to Barbarian in terms of format and like, I guess that subversion of expectation that Kreger is kind of becoming known for. But I think everything about this is really fun, especially the ending. I think the ending, because the ending is so fun, you leave the cinema feeling really pumped.
Yeah. The ending is great.
And that's kind of how I felt, leaving this film. Really solid.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see his Resident Evil film.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be really good.
Interesting, yeah. I actually had sort of forgotten about this movie, but Weapons is pretty good. Good. I like how intertwined all the different stories are. Yeah. I was a little bit let down by the reveal, which I won't say, but it was kind of like, it's a bit just kind of done before. Just, But no, it's
if somehow
movie.
you haven't watched this film, maybe just watch it without, looking into it too much.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those films that you should go in pretty blind to.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 5? We're halfway through.
Yes. My number 5 is Bugonia. So this is a remake of Save the Green Planet. And again, we were supposed to talk about this movie and that movie.
This is the film. This is the film that we were supposed to talk about, but we didn't because of Wicked.
For Good. I think we'll still talk about it, so I won't say that much because we this is basically what our podcast is about. But we didn't talk about it. We talked about Wicked for Good. But it's it's sort of a dark comedy thriller in which Jesse Plemons believes that Emma Stone is an alien and he kidnaps her and tries to get her to take him to their mothership to broker deal to not destroy planet Earth. That's pretty much what I'll say about the plot. But no, it's quite different from the original, but it's also really suits Yorgos' style of film. And both movies, I think both movies are very good, but they are told in their respective ways by their respective creatives very differently. There's lots of very fun shots in this movie, and it's quite surprisingly subdued if I really think about it. And Emma Stone is quite fun. I like Jesse Plemons as well. I think I won't say too much more about this. Fun sound design, fun soundtrack. We'll do an episode on this properly. But Bugonia is my number 5.
Bugonia is an honourable mention for me. It's one of those films that got beaten out mainly due to slight disappointment than it being a bad film. It's a very good film. And I would recommend watching it if you're a fan of Yorgos.
Yeah.
My number 5 is One Battle After Another.
Oh, okay.
So this is an American black comedy action thriller written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. So it basically centers around Leonardo DiCaprio's character and his daughter. He's like a past revolutionary that is kind of trying to avoid being noticed by the people that want to get him, Sean Penn mainly. But then his past catches up with him and involves his daughter, and they kind of have to go on the run. Just very good filmmaking. You know, Paul Thomas Anderson just doesn't really miss, to be honest.
Really great filmmaking,
DiCaprio doesn't really miss, actually. A lot of fun performances in there. Sean Penn puts on probably my favorite performance from his career. Benicio del Toro is in there, just chewing up a lot of scenery. Regina Hall, Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity. Everybody is just at top of their game in this film. It's one of those films that is a bit of a vibe as well. Like it's kind of... Paul Thomas Anderson is really good at making premises that aren't inherently that interesting into a really, really interesting film to watch.
He executes movies very, very well. He's just got such an interesting vision. Yeah.
Yes, agreed. And just a lot of filmmaking techniques used, a lot of tricks. He's got a lot of tricks in his bag that he's pulling out for this film. The overall product is just a really, really, really good watch. I would recommend it if you're a fan of his work. Only if you're a fan of good movies.
I wouldn't recommend this movie if you're a far-right extremist, though.
Yeah, some commentary in there. Some commentary in there.
Yeah, like this movie, like people on the right really hated this movie. I think there is a lack of media literacy on that side. Probably on both sides, to be honest. Both the left and the right, like you don't really know how to critique movies, and that's sort of my issue sometimes with YouTube commentators, is that they don't know how to critique movies. It's not always about plot. But I think this movie is quite balanced in how it portrays both sides. It's definitely leans more towards left. And that's sort of just how art works, unfortunately. Like it's always going to be
Hollywood's full of bleeding heart liberals.
But like Paul Thomas Anderson wouldn't make a movie that is inherently one way or the other. But yeah, I think most creatives are probably leaning more towards the left. I like lean left as well. You know, that's where I stand. But I have a pretty balanced view on things, I think, mostly. But yeah, no.
I mean, I don't know if apathy constitutes a balanced view, but sometimes it is kind of hard to care.
Yeah. But no, I think this movie is great as well. Yeah, good. Just good. It's just good filmmaking. Yeah, definitely.
It is. It's very good. And lots of rewatchability, I feel, for this movie as well.
Yeah.
What's your number 4?
We're at number 4. So you already mentioned this, but number 4 for me is Warfare. It's just...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I'm a big sucker for sound design in film. And the first time I watched this, actually, I didn't really notice it that much because I watched it in Crown. And I think Crown Village Cinema is actually quite shit. I would try to avoid watching movies there. I don't know why it's bad in there. It reminds me of Event Cinemas in Sydney, to be honest.
It's probably just one of those.
It's just old.
One of those buildings that has been there forever.
It's just old, and it's probably
they
hard
just
to
can't
renovate.
be bothered renovating.
Yeah. But Warfare was almost a little bit disappointing for me on my first watch, but then I rewatched it in IMAX and theaters with better sound systems, and I was like, oh, okay, no, it's good. But like, it's for the same reasons you said before. I like its fresh take on a war film. I like how uncompromising it is, but it's also not overly gory, which in this case kind of works. There is a sort of horror aspect of this movie that I really like, and unrelenting oppressiveness. But I don't know if this is me being wired the wrong way, but anytime I watch war movies and I hear a lot of gunfire and explosions in the background, it's sort of almost relaxing for me. There's just something very
you played too much COD in your life. It feels like a bit of a COD situation, to be honest. Without the gooners.
I didn't even play COD. I've only played up to Modern Warfare 3, I think was the last COD that I had finished playing.
No, I do think that's intentional, though. In a way, I think it's kind of like when a lot of noise combines together to kind of create a drone, and it's almost like a relaxing drone. And when you add like the vibration of the seats in there as well, I can kind of see how it might become relaxing, but not for me. This was a stressful film to watch, and I think that's the point as well.
I'm just wired differently, man. Yeah, I really enjoyed my IMAX screening because it was quite fresh, because people were reacting to just watching some of the horror that was on screen. They're like, oh my God. And it's just like, I remember there was just like, I think, like, because I watched it by myself at IMAX, and there was just this one, like, Asian girl, like, sitting next to me who was by herself as well. And I was very surprised, because I'm like, you're not the target demographic for this movie. But, like, she was quite shocked by a lot of the movies. Somehow I think she walked into the wrong movie. Like, this isn't Wicked for good. It's like,
Way to stereotype, Darby.
Yeah, I'm a bigot, man. Yeah, But like, don't it's what
Warfare is for everybody, Tavi. War is universal.
Not according
but again,
to
this film
Asian
doesn't
American
really take a
YouTubers.
stance.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, this film doesn't really take a stance either. I think it's pretty balanced because
it is,
it's such a personal take on war, I guess.
The movie's ending is great as well. It's very abrupt, which is sort of the point. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. What are you up to? Number 4, right?
Number 4. Yeah.
My number 4 is Nizza 2, which I'm surprised did not make your top 10. It's excellent. I think this is one of those films that really surprised me. Like, you had told me that it is quite good going into it, but I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, especially for a sequel to a film that I have never seen. I think from what I understand, it really is elevated from its predecessor. I think the kind of what's it called? Jansan story. So like wuxia, but with mystical elements involved. I think it's really well told in a very accessible way. I feel like I got it without having to kind of get all of the background information. And I think in terms of like the animation, it's just very top-notch action animation. It's really beautiful to look at times. And just you can feel the amount of work and the amount of crunch that got involved in this film. And it's really fun. Like it goes from being very fun at times to very dark at times.
That's
to very,
it's very
angry at times as well. It's like it really takes you. It's got a lot of emotional depth in it for what it is. Because I think essentially it is a kids film. I think probably not like a film for Western kids, but a film for Chinese kids. I think, and that's really cool as well. I think this is a story that could really inform a young person. It's almost like Inside Out, but with kung fu. It's good.
Well, this is the highest grossing movie of last year, unless Avatar has taken over. But it's definitely
probably has.
Yeah, it might be the second highest grossing movie. I mean, like to mention, why I didn't put it in my top 10, and I guess it's sort of the same for K-pop Demon Hunters as well. Both of these movies are honorable mentions. Like, Nurture 2, I did really enjoy, and I did really enjoy like the tonal shift, and I think a lot of the fight scenes are very excellent in this movie. But I think as the year went on, I wanted to rewatch this movie, but I sort of didn't really feel like it. I didn't really want to revisit it, and I just I don't know. Like, it's surprisingly sort of it did leave an impression on me, but I sort of mellowed out, and it's like, I probably don't need to watch it again. I think for me, it's still, I personally don't really like the art style that much. It's still very like Disney style, Pixar. I'm not a big fan of the squishy look, the squishy corporate Pixar look anymore. It's sort of it changes the mood for me. But that being said, I think this is still an excellent movie, but it's sort of just like, I don't think I really need to revisit it again. And to be honest, I rewatched K-pop Demon Hunters, and I think Nozja 2 is a better movie than K-pop Demon Hunters, but K-pop Demon Hunters is actually easier to rewatch and surprisingly a lot more relatable than Nozja 2. But it's also, I think K-pop Demon Hunters, I was thinking about putting K-pop Demon Hunters in there somewhere, but just thinking about it, it's like, I mean, the story is fine. I wanted that movie to maybe even go a little bit like heavier. But I can't deny the cultural impact of that movie.
Like Nerdza 2. Nerdza 2 gets pretty heavy. She just, and that kind of elevated it for me. This film's not fucking around. It is a kid's film, but there's death. People die.
People die. But
you can't sing them back to life. They're just dead.
Sing them back to life. You can't. There's no MacGuffin that can be like, well, actually, we can bring them back to life. And it's like, wow, hey, Mom, I love you. Oh, whoops, this is a spoiler.
And that's important for kids to learn. That's important, I think.
I think
you got to have that little bit of realism in there.
I think both K-pop Demon Hunters and Nejatu have very good lessons, which is lost on Disney, unfortunately, especially when I hear about what they did with Lilo and Stitch. And I'm not attached to that movie, but man, just when I hear about what they did to the live action remake in terms of its messaging, it's just like, what are you guys thinking? Like, this is a horrible message for kids to learn. But yeah,
it's
doesn't matter.
Very millennial coded, Tavi.
Yeah.
It's our fault, really.
Yeah, it's our fault. Yeah, but it made $1 billion, so everything's just going to be.
It did.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
Well, so did Nerds Jar too.
Didn't make 2 billion like Nerds Jar 2.
I mean, as a hypothetical, do you think K-pop Demon Hunters would have made that $1 billion mark? Because I think it would have.
If it was in theaters?
Because I think word of mouth would have really just.
It did get re-released to theaters.
Yeah, but everyone had already seen it on Netflix by this point, so it wouldn't have made that much.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
I don't know, because the word of mouth grew very organically. So, and like Nerds Jar 2 made $2 billion, but it was far from organic.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I got my whole entire office building to watch this. I bought tickets for them twice. Get the military, everyone in the army, go watch this movie now. It's like, whereas K-pop Demon Hunters is, I reckon that could have made the $1 billion mark, and I think so.
Maybe.
Whoever made that decision to sell it to Netflix has either been fired or dropped in the
seppuku.
Seppuku. It's like, God. It's just like heads rolling, heads on a pike outside the office building, next to a poster of K-pop Demon Hunters. Where like this could have made $1 billion, but you sold it.
Oh, that's Sony for you. They don't make great decisions.
No, they don't. They spent $2 billion to make Concorde, but I won't talk about that anyway.
Let's move it along, shall we? What's your number 3?
Number 3. Number 3 and number 2 was kind of like a last-minute decision swap, actually. These two were fighting. But number 3 for me was Bring Her Back. Australian film. Australian horror film. It's just about, a brother and his foster sister move into a new house where Sally Hawkins is a bit of a crazy person and she's sort of a part of a weird cult. That's implied. Yeah. Very fun production design, or should I say makeup and special effects, which is quite...
Yeah, so this is from the Raka Raka brothers.
Yes.
So like they have a background in YouTube special effects, and you can feel like the limits coming off in this film. Like this is kind of them at like peak budget.
This is peak budget
budgetaries
and peak sad boy. This movie.
Yes.
Is so sad.
It's very sad. It's very grim. This film.
It's so funny how it's Georgie and the Filippo brothers sort of went the same trajectory to making pretty nonsense YouTube videos, very fun YouTube videos to watch. And then I think it's the class clown, right? You're sort of hiding in a sadness. And then it's like, this movie, it has humor in it, but it's not laugh out loud humor. It's sort of referential humor, especially if you grew up in Australia. But it's unrelenting sadness, I think, will put some people off.
Yeah, and things that are just hard to watch. Really hard to watch stuff.
And surprisingly subdued for a Filippo brothers movie, especially, again, compared to their YouTube videos. But just great performances all around. Sally Hawkins is fantastic, and the brother... I feel like English people play Australians better than Australians do. I guess the sister did a really good job as well. I like how they, they needed a character to play like a sight challenged person, and she was actually sight challenged. But that's not to disregard. Like, if you can do the role well, like, you pick the best role.
No, but it is nice that they went that direction. And
I think the little boy does a great job at literally chewing the scenery. Just great special effects and just really great mood. Like, it is just the atmosphere is very strong in this movie. It's I don't think this movie is overly scary, but it's just such a great story and quite tragic.
It's not as fun or marketable as Talk to Me, but I think it's better.
I like this movie better
because I actually felt stuff during this film.
Yeah.
Whereas in Talk to Me, it's more like, I
was only,
I guess, crowd pleasing.
let down by the ending a little bit, unfortunately, where it's a little bit, you'll have to see it. We talked about it in our review if you don't want to watch the movie for some reason. But it's the ending could have been rewritten better, but I think this is a fantastic film. And it's great that an Australian film has made this list organically. And I think it proves the point that YouTube creators can, for the most part, make really good films. Not like Logan Paul, who recently made an AI film and it looks horrible. But he's just not a good person. So that's fine.
That's not the worst thing he's done, Tazi.
It's not the worst thing. It might be. That's why my RAM is so expensive. But anyway, I'd rather him being goofing off in Japan. At least that doesn't affect me. Actually, that kind of does, because I like going to Japan and they ban things because of but I don't know.
Affects
I don't go to Japan all the time, but I do use computers all the time. So yeah. But bring her back.
I don't know if Logan Paul is the sole contributor to this problem.
He's the catalyst of the cancer cell that spreads and makes things worse for everyone. Yeah. And he's a shit icon. But I don't want to. Don't need to waste time talking about that guy. Yeah. But bring it back.
Let's talk about Train Dreams instead. Train Dreams is my number 3. This is a film that I watched fairly recently, but it is a 2025 American period drama starring Joel Edgerton. Basically recounts the story of a man who grew up building railroads, and he gets married and then stuff happens to him. It's about his life. It's like you're reading a Hemingway novel, I guess, but in film form. It's like you're listening to a Bon Iver song, but in film form. It's very masculine and vibey, this film, I'd say. It's like the stories your granddad tells you, but like more interesting. And more visually stunning. Like this film it's a bit of a feast for the senses, if I may say so.
Kind of wasted as just a Netflix drop.
I would have loved to have seen this in theaters.
You wouldn't. The thing is, you wouldn't have watched this in theaters, though.
Probably not, to be honest.
That's the point that Netflix are making. That's like,
I might have rewatched it if it was in theaters, though.
Yeah.
That's how much I enjoyed this film. It leaves you feeling like this kind of sense of scale, I guess, in terms of your place in the world. I don't know if this is just me, but the story, it's such a small story. It's just a small story about this one man, right?
Yeah.
But I guess in that way, it makes everything kind of feel small. I don't know. It's hard to explain the feeling that I felt from watching this film. But it is a very good vibe, I would say. I guess you kind of have to be in a headspace to watch this film, but it is very impactful. I feel, especially if you're like in a certain time in your life, maybe. I don't know. But there's a lot of depth, a lot of emotional depth in a film that ultimately doesn't really have that much going on narratively. I guess this is kind of the perfect days for me for this
like
year.
Western perfect days, Just a man like pottering around and going through
just
life.
Just trying to be happy. Which is all of us, right? We're just pottering around trying to be happy.
I watched this movie. It took me a couple of goes to get into, because I think at the time I might have been busy with something and I was just in the wrong headspace. But actually, no, you were in town. That's right. We were hanging out a lot. And I didn't get a chance to sort of sit down and properly watch this. But then when I did, I'm like, this is a great film. And it is a shame that it didn't make it to the theaters. And I do like Joel Edgerton as well. Another Australian gem. It's just there's something about, it is all the atmosphere and it's all the craft. especially when they push the Asian guy off the bridge and it haunts Joel Edgerton for the rest of the movie. That was sort of like that was quite confronting.
Asian representation.
Yeah, Asian representation. Like, you get up, and they just chuck him off the bridge. This happens in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, so it's not, it kind of is a spoiler. If you're sensitive to that kind of thing, don't watch it maybe. But no, there's a lot of there's a lot of depth in this movie, but it doesn't outright tell you what it's about. It's all within its visual.
It's a movie that you got to feel.
Yeah.
You just feel it.
Yeah. No, great movie.
All right, we're getting to the nitty gritty,
Yes,
Tavi.
there
We're
we
up to
go.
number 2.
Yes.
What's your number 2?
Number 2 for me was a surprise because I rewatched this movie and I enjoyed it as much as the first couple of times I watched it. And this is Dead Talent Society. So,
Oh, wow, okay.
This is a Taiwanese film where an unremarkable girl finds herself in the afterlife, and she has to stay relevant and alive. She joins a troupe in which she becomes like an urban legend to scare people. But this movie is
It's like Monsters Inc., but with Taiwanese
It's like
ghosts.
Monsters Inc. with Taiwanese ghosts, and it's not a cop out where the ending is, oh, actually, you have to make people laugh. No, they're trying to scare you, and that's their purpose is to scare you. That's how it should be. That's what a monster is. I don't know, like everything's about giving the villain like a backstory, an empathetic backstory, but sometimes monsters should be monsters. But even though this movie is about giving the monsters an empathetic backstory. But anyway, monsters should be monsters regardless. That's their job. It's fun. Anyway, I just love the cast of this movie. I love the characters, how they all interact with each other. I love the energy of this movie. I like the surprisingly violent aspects of this movie, even though it's very cartoony. But I love the...
It's scary at times.
I just love the heart of this movie. There's something about this movie that just really hits me in a certain spot. And it gets me
incredibly easy to watch this film.
It gets me very like emotional towards the end, surprisingly. Because I think to me it's sort of like quite relatable. And it's funny because like Ginga Wang is supposed to be like the unremarkable person, but she's obviously like a very beautiful actress, but you know.
Well, that's filmmaking, isn't it?
She sells it really
There's
well.
no room for realistic, unremarkable people.
It's sort of like Rachel
film.
McAdams in Send Help, where she's supposed to be unremarkable, but you are like Rachel McAdams. But both her and Ginga Wang, they're just great performers, and I think Ginga really likes to be in this sort of goofy mode. It's sort of more towards her normal personality. I think she likes it more than sort of the more dark brooding stuff that she's done, because she hasn't really done that role for a while, but she can do it really well. And I think this movie sort of corrects what that movie we talked about a couple years ago, the other Taiwanese film,
The Dead I forget what
I forgot what it was called, but like she was the highlight of that film, but her character sort of just gets thrown aside. So this film sort of seems like this is that character, but fleshed out. But yeah, it's just so much energy in this movie in terms of the editing. I think it is almost on par with Edgar Wright films. Just a lot of visual comedy, a lot of slapstick. I like a lot of the nods to some other East Asian horror icons, especially like the Perfect Blue nod as well. But the premise is just so funny. Just the idea of ghosts having to set up practical stages to just scare people, especially the three... like the 3 twin ghosts or something, where they're trying to set the illusion that they're teleporting faster, but it's just 3 ghosts who are obviously different body size proportions, but they're just like switching lights on and off. But
I like the commentary on like celebrity as well, and like it's almost like idol culture in a sense.
There's a surprising amount of depth in this movie that you don't really realize upon watching it, even the first couple of times, because it is so fun. This movie is such a fun movie. I don't think it's a long film. It's like an hour 50 minutes, but it goes at a clip. I think for me, initially, the first hour is the most fun. But when I first watched it, I thought it dropped off a little bit. But when I watched it for the third time, I realized how important that sort of break is for this film, for its themes to come through. And I think it really elevates the climax of this film more, and it really made me appreciate this movie a lot more. Yeah, I love it. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's free, easy to access. You don't have to jump through any loops. It might be a good stepping stone into horror because it sort of de-terrifies a lot of the horror elements of East Asian movies.
I think it's a good stepping stone into Taiwanese cinema as well. Like, I think there are a lot of this kind of film in that space, but this is very accessible because I think everybody that watches movies kind of has a vague sense of Asian ghosts as well. So there's that kind of connection to, I guess, mainstream audiences might make it a bit more accessible than something like that other film that we talked about. It's a lot of fun. It's a good film.
I mean, just the audition scene at the start where there's ghosts who are sort of explain. There's a guy. He says he's the arm ghost or something, and he just rips his arm off and throws it at people. Yeah. Like, that's just funny, and it's so silly, but it's just really funny. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I had initially anticipated from the beginning of the year. Yeah, great film. Yeah.
All right, my number 2 is Sinners. So, I don't know if I need to talk about it that much. Everybody knows about this film by now. It's the 2025 American horror film directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. It's about vampires. Yeah. This film made it in mainly because of one scene.
Yes,
yeah. You know what scene I'm talking about. That scene is the coolest thing that I've seen in cinema for a long time, I feel. Yeah. And the movie itself, obviously it's quite good. There's a lot of intent behind the filmmaking process of this film. The performance, phenomenal. Michael B. Jordan is phenomenal in this film. I mean, at its core, it's a pretty simple film. It's basically like, what's that movie with George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn, yeah. I mean, that's a very oversimplification of this film, but the plot-wise, it is basically that. And this film got spoiled for me by the trailer. And
such a bad trailer.
And I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a terrible trailer, but still, I really enjoyed this movie because it is not contingent on any plot twist. It's full of vibes. It's full of coolness, I guess. And it's a lot of fun to watch as well.
Yeah.
I think it hits a lot of different quadrants, I guess, in terms of how you enjoy a film. It is a film for everybody. And I think it's getting its dues. Obviously it's winning a lot of accolades.
Yeah, this is the most acclaimed movie of 2025. Probably will win Best Picture, I think. I think it will. This is the one that is highly likely to sweep the Oscars. Everyone loves this film,
and if you like music, there's a lot of good music in this film as well.
It won't win Best Original Song, though. That's going to go to K-pop Demon Hunters.
You reckon?
It has. Golden has to. There will be riots if Golden doesn't win. And there are a number of songs in that category that I like better than Golden, but I think Golden. It just has to. It's the song in years in which an original song has captivated people. It's up there with when people listen to. I always talk about Titanic. My heart will go on because it's the best, but it's.
Let It Go, probably, from Frozen.
Let It Go is probably the last one. But, Golden probably has to win the best song of the year.
What if Wicked wins, though, Tavi?
It won't, because it wasn't nominated. It didn't get a nomination. So, thank God. I would be so upset. Wicked won a garbage movie. But, Sinners is good. Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
All right, well, before we do our number one, shall we go
Yes.
through some honourable mentions, Tavi?
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of categorized it. Like, in terms of like horror sci-fi stuff, I liked The Monkey and Keeper.
Yep.
I like Oz Good Perkins movies. I put Taiwan
Yeah.
Killer Hospital there, the remake of Gonjiam, just because it's really funny.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was a 2025 film.
Yeah, no,
but
it was.
that's a lot of fun.
I put Ash there because I quite like Flying Lotus's vision for that movie, the horror movie.
Yeah, okay.
The Long Walk is there because I found this movie to be surprisingly heartfelt as well, and not as intense
I
as
feel
I
like
thought.
that this movie, The Long Walk, was like better than I thought it was going to be, but it kind of flew under the radar as well. I don't
Yeah.
think many people kind of see it that highly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too political, Tavi.
It's pretty political. Oh, yeah, it's not a movie you would rewatch. It's not the most entertaining. It is, but it's also like, once you watch it, there's not too much more you can really glean.
It's a pretty stressful film to watch as well.
But two mentions is like, you mentioned 28 Years Later. I put that as a special mentions. That this was originally going to be in my top 10, but after watching where it led to with the sequel, I just felt like, it kind of sullied the legacy a little bit for me because people really...
That's not the 28 Years Later fault. Though.
Yeah, no, it's not. But it's sort of like, it was so interesting to see where it was going to head. And then it just became a bit And then I realized, I don't know, it just kind of ruined it for me a little bit because Danny Boyle had set up a pretty interesting universe and a pretty interesting visual style. But the second one, people love Bone Temple. There's a lot of fun stuff. I enjoyed it, but I just thought the vision was a bit bland, to be honest. But people were saying that like it's better than the Danny. It's just like, it's just like I'm gonna be a snob and say, it's just kind of a lack of media literacy, just like lack of personality, just like absorbing Hollywood stuff. But anyway, so 28 Years Later is there. You mentioned Sinners as well, which is in my honorable mention because I did really enjoy this movie. But again, it's sort of the same with like Nerdstar 2. I thought about it through the year and I was like, I don't really need to rewatch this movie. Also, it might be a little bit of me being a contrarian as well. It's just like, like it's good, but it's not the most... the most acclaimed. I don't know. And the trailer, the trailer didn't even ruin the movie for me, but I saw it and I was like, this is shocking. Like, this is bad. So the trailer actually kicked it down for me.
Awful
and
decision.
I didn't even, it wasn't even spoiled for me. But I thought the climax of this film was a little bit disappointing as well. When, it's because I'd rather just watch From Dusk Till Dawn, to be honest, if I was going to watch this movie.
Yeah, for that aspect of the film, certainly, I think. But I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on in Sinners. So,
but it's like surprisingly, I was going to rewatch it in IMAX and stuff. But I don't know. I just felt as if I'd seen it once and I didn't really need to watch it again.
Fair enough.
But in terms of comedy films, I've got like Eddington, Ari Aster.
Eddington.
I liked it, but it's more or less like it wasn't as fun as Beau's Afraid for me. But action films, I've got like Shadow's Edge, the Jackie Chan movie, which was a surprise movie for me, and I was thinking about putting it in the top 10 as well, but it's just like probably not. I guess
just not quite there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun though.
Yeah,
people should watch it.
I got Havoc as well, even though this is kind of a mixed opinion film, but I just wanted to see a Gareth Evans movie, and some of the action scenes are quite fun in that movie as well.
I don't know, a bit disappointing for me, that one, to be honest.
But I don't know, I wanted to give that a mention. But like, we talked about K-pop Demon Hunters and Nerdstar 2. I put Lost in Starlight there because I'm a big fan of sort of...
I hate that film.
You hate it? It's good, man. I love that Makoto Shinkai and stuff. Even though it's not Makoto Shinkai.
But it's not Makoto Shinkai. Is it?
I put... Predator Killers is honorable mention as well. And then I call them the Oscar baity movies. I put one battle after another. Again, this is objectively like a top tier film of last year, but probably I've watched it once. I'm not sure if I would rewatch it as much as say like a There Will Be Blood. I put Rental Family there, which was I surprisingly enjoyed a lot. I was a bit skeptical about it. Marty Supreme is great. It almost made a top 10.
Is that from this year?
It's 2025 film, but it was released this year in Australia because we get things late because we want to watch Avatar and Wicked for good. But
you're right. It did sneak into this year's Oscars, isn't it?
But yeah, Marty Supreme is great from the Safdie guys. One of the Safdie bros. I put Nouvelle Vague there, film about the French New Wave. And a couple of Japanese movies. Renoir, which I saw at MIF, which is just sort of about a girl growing up in the 80s. And a short film from Hirokazu Koreeda, which I sort of just discovered, called Last Scene. It's a 20-minute film, has a lot of heart, and made me very emotional. And I wonder if I had put this in a top 10, but it's a short film, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't count. No, but it does. But it's really good. Sort of like a time travel element, a slight sci-fi element, but done very minimalistically. Yeah, good stuff. So those are my honourable mentions. Yes.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned most of mine. Rental Family, Bugonia was an honourable mention for me. Bone Temple was also an honourable mention. Just it's fun. It doesn't have anywhere near as much of the depth as its predecessor.
No, it's better than the predecessor. People love this movie.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised how much people love this movie and how disturbed. There's one pretty disturbing scene in it, but I don't know. You and I are kind of built different. And it didn't even register. At the time, that scene didn't even register to me to be disturbing.
Yeah, same. I think we're a bit fucked up there.
Yeah, we're a bit fucked up.
Yeah. I should preface this by saying none of these were close to being like top tier in the list, but a lot of them could have been number 10. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle is pretty fun. I watched that in 4D, which helped, but also made me feel very sore after watching it. Mickey 17 as well.
Yeah. That was kind of disappointing. I'd forgotten about that.
Kind of a disappointment, yeah. Companion.
Oh, yeah, Companion.
A film that I kind of forgot I watched, but looking back, I was like, it's pretty good. Yeah. Nobody 2, I thought was a lot of fun.
Shit, I forgot about Nobody 2.
Shout out to Timo. Shout out to Timo Tajanto. Yeah. Definitely, to me, an improvement on its predecessor. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but yes, that's how it is for me. I think that might be it. Yeah, The Monkey was on there. One of Them Days, I think, is a lot of fun in terms of a comedy film.
That movie,
kind of a throwback to the Friday era.
You sprung on me as soon as I landed in Sydney. It's like I got there. It was like within 10 minutes of going through the boiling humidity. You guys had a fucking heat wave in autumn at that time, and I was so exhausted. And it was like, okay, we're gonna go watch this movie in like 10 minutes, and it's like a 15-minute walk. And I was like,
a film you know nothing about.
But no, that was a surprise hit. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't put it in an honorable mention though. I thought it was just okay.
Yeah, I think it was a fun throwback. You don't really get movies like that are actually funny anymore. But I think it did a job. And Frankenstein is on there as well. I think Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is quite a visual feast, if nothing else.
Just a bit too floaty for me. I don't know. It just didn't... I liked it, but just something about it didn't hit quite right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there's probably a number of movies I left off. I mean, number one, I'm pretty sure I know what your number one is.
I think we both have.
I mean, we may as well just fucking reveal it as together. Like, there's no mystery. I think we both knew from the get-go, which is going to be number one. It's obviously no other choice, right? No, it's actually Wicked for Good.
Yes.
No, it's no other choice. I mean, we did an episode quite recently gushing over this movie. Park Chan-wook's late latest great satirical dark comedy. Yeah, I mean, it's, what is there more for us to say? Like, it's just master.
Go listen to the episode if you want to hear that
Mastercraft.
at length rant about it. But it's the
Mastercraft
best.
filmmaking.
It's the best of this year.
And a movie that should have won.
So funny.
Should be
It's so...
in the best film, like in the Oscars, but it got snubbed to make room for, I don't know, F1. People really like that movie, but I don't know. It's just like, it's just too, I feel like that's too much of a comfort movie and it's too commercial. It's just like, I don't know. I'll probably watch it and enjoy it at some point. But anyway, no other choice. Yeah. It's just, there's nothing bad about this movie, like at all.
For those that haven't heard of this film somehow, it is based around this character who loses his job at the paper manufacturer he works at. So in order to cling on to the life that his family is used to, he basically becomes a serial killer. So, I mean, that's the bare bones of this plot. But if that doesn't get you to watch it, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's
so light.
Park Chan-wook. Park Chan-wook. He's an old boy guy. He's the best.
It's so easy to watch. I guess it's a little bit weird. I think if you are a normie, you might not like this movie. But if you enjoy, I feel it's a pretty easy movie to watch. It goes at a nice pace.
It's super accessible.
It's got dark tones, but it's not. It's definitely one of Park Chan-wook's like lighter touches of film. It's not overly heavy, even though the themes are quite heavy, and the ending is bittersweet in a sense that it's like not quite a happy ending, but it's a happy ending, and sort of paints the way.
Happy for one guy.
Happy for one guy. Yeah, it's definitely, this is definitely a timely film, and it should be watched. It should be more acclaimed. You know, there's a lot more that it's saying.
Too bad.
Yep.
Too bad Park Chan-wook is a scab, so that'll never happen, Tavi.
Hollywood hates Park Chan-wook. But Hollywood just hates Asians unless it's K-pop demon hunters. So, yeah.
No, Parasite. Remember that time Parasite won, Tavi?
Yeah, but that's because like the audience
that was their
quota.
So
much. I feel like Hollywood was obliged to like that movie after a while because they're like, oh, I guess we better, because it was, Parasite is probably more accessible than this movie, I guess, but I don't know.
I don't know.
It's...
No other choice is a little bit on the weirder side, but I still feel like the story is quite relatable to most people. Not very difficult to understand. The humor is, it's funny. I think there's a lot of slapstick humor in this as well that really, like when you combine that with the themes and some of the tone, it's very absurd. It's a very absurd film to watch.
Yeah. It is. Like, I'm so glad to see like Park Chan-wook come back. Unfortunately, maybe not reviving the Korean cinema wave, which I've heard Korea's really suffering from just lack of local films. Like they're not pumping out as much. It's not like it was in the early 2000s or even the mid 2010s where Korean cinema was really the height of just like cinematic flair.
Now it's all about Netflix K-dramas, Tavi. So that's good too, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, I enjoy some of those Netflix dramas, but I can't.
I don't.
I can't get through them all. There's just too much. Yeah. There's a number of actors that I quite like in those Netflix dramas, but there's just too much, and I get sick of them. I get sick of the formula, and it's just it's harder. It's harder to digest, and a lot of those Netflix dramas don't need to be TV series. And again, it's just for the metric that Netflix is saying.
Watch hours. It's got the watch hours.
It's so unnecessary. I mean, well, maybe
I'd rather watch No Other Choice 8 times in a row than watch another K-drama on Netflix, to be honest.
Well, Arya's going to be in one soon, so you got
Great. Can't wait.
Yep. Maybe we might not cover that one because it actually doesn't look that good, to be honest. But we'll see how we go.
How dare you, Tavi?
Right?
Blaspheme like that.
Look. I love IU. Like, she's the goddess. She can do no wrong. But sometimes you got to be critical. You can't just blindly follow. I'm not that much of a sycophant. No, I guess I'm contradicting myself because I am a sycophant, but I'm also critical. Which does that? Can you be that?
Can you criticize God?
Well, sometimes God missteps. God killed the entire population.
Can't believe what you're saying right now, Tavi.
Yeah, I know, right? Like what?
I'm pretty sure if IU killed half the population, you'd forgive her pretty quickly,
Yeah, I
Tavi.
would. Yeah.
You'd gladly drown in a flood for IU.
It just floated.
If this is your will.
Yeah. I know. I'm just contradicting myself because I love IU. And I'll probably still watch that drama.
Yeah.
It looks like a time travel one where she goes back to period Korea. But I'm kind of sick of those Korean period dramas because mum watches them all the time, and it's just sort of it's another one of these. And it's just but Tangerine
sounds.
Tangerine's
Yeah,
was
Tangerine
great.
was
Yeah.
good. Tangerine is an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But anyway, no other choice. Good movie. Go watch it if you haven't.
Great movie.
Yeah, just because it's not winning Oscars doesn't mean it's not fantastic.
Yeah,
it is.
Listen to us instead of watching the Oscars. The Oscars, it's funny because when we first sort of talked about, I think we talked about Drive My Car 4 years ago. I sort of still cared a bit back then, but now I guess obviously I do because I'm bringing it up. But it's sort of I don't really want to watch it anymore. It's just it's just Epstein lists just sucking each other's dicks, and
Yeah, pretty much. And it always has been, Tavi.
Yeah, it always has been. That's true.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the Oscar hating party.
Yeah.
Stupid ritual for inept jerks.
Yeah, but some of those movies are actually good though that get nominated.
I mean, obviously some of them are good.
But it's not like the Grammys though, where...
a clock is correct twice a day, Tavi.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not we were veering off a little bit, but it's not like the Grammys where I think all of those songs are not good, to be honest. I mean, they get nominated. I enjoyed Apatu, but it's best song of the year? Not sure about that. But anyway, we're not a music podcast. Well, we should be, but I don't have the music literacy to critique music. Yeah.
No. Anyway, these are our top 10 movies of 2025. What do you think of this list, guys? Were there any that we missed that we should watch? Let us know. You can get in touch with us at twoasianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok to see what we're up to. 2025.
Yes, 2025.
Decent year for movies.
Decent year. No, I think there are some good movies. Most people obviously critique the year based on a lot of Hollywood releases, and I think there were so many stinkers last year. I didn't finish Tron Ares. I didn't finish Megan 2. I didn't finish Happy Gilmore 2. I just couldn't. I just it's just I was just wasting my time, and I didn't want to watch movies just so I could put them on a list of worst movies. So yeah, time is important.
Life is too short for that.
Yeah. So maybe to the chagrin of some of our listeners, because some of our super fans like to hear me get pissed off. So it's funny. Yeah, but I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway.
You can get pissed off another time.
Yeah.
Get pissed off in your own time, Tavi.
I get pissed. Yeah. Nah, it's all right. I won't go on another.
The price of RAM and whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we'll catch you later.
All right.
Hope you have a good one.
See you later, guys.